Greetings, I'm Director Arketer Labs, as is to be expected, really. All by my lonesome. Well, aside of the rats. This time I have, Scrobbles and Pink. I think it's Pink. In any case, greetings in chat to K-Shoal, Nerdy Rodent, pleased to see you about, Kefki, and your boy Pat, and that seems to be about it for the time being. Low turnout. I don't know what it is about today. Everything's low turnout. It's been really kind of hard to get any attention whatsoever, despite the fact that I have been releasing a video pretty much, well, every day this week so far, and I swear it seems to actually be resulting in worse turnout. But that's fine. That's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it so I get over my obnoxious, neurotic fear of canned content. By the way, if you want the most recent video, it goes to Rumble first, for reasons I don't feel like I need to articulate here right now. I don't want to. And one of you, stop trying to fit through the headset. Right. Also, I didn't notice that there are actually quite a few commas missing from that disclaimer, which I've been using for, I think, about over 2 years now, and really should rewrite. I'll work on that. We have no guests, but I am live in the green room on the Discord reserve server. If you happen to have a camera, feel that your voice is acceptable, by all means, try your luck. Join, if you like, no obligations. Greetings in chat now to Brain Shatterer and anyone else who might be lurking. That's all right, that's legit. Although I do enjoy the interaction, please do say hi. You don't have to, though. I'm not, no one can force you to. It's all right. Where was I? Oh, yes. First things first. I don't know if it applies to anyone watching presently, but I was recently informed of 3 packages that were sent my way that still aren't quite here yet. They're in a sort of limbo, but as soon as I get them, they will be opened on the next side quest. Unfortunately, it's presumed that all such packages are the dominion of Arcturus, of Sarthos, that douchebag, who is expected to be seen again, I think it's next week? In any case, side quest will resume soon, and it's going to be very different from what you may recall. I think it's going to be fascinating. I'm really looking forward to seeing it myself, or so much as I have to anyway. In any case, we have a first SCP chosen already, but just the one. So if you have requests, you might want to get that number handy. I've got no one to trade off lines with, so it's all me, all natural. Well, again, sorry, the various layers of clothing, and no one can afford to compel anything else. I promise you, no one can. Item SCP-978, Object Class Safe. I would like to say, first off, I am pleased that this is one of the prime examples of the Foundation correctly determining what is a safe object. Its applications are not necessarily safe, but if you leave it on the shelf, it just stays there doing nothing. That is correct. Where are we? Special containment procedures, SCP-978 is to be kept in a secure locker HJ12 at Site 17 and only be removed or handled by personnel with Level 2 security clearance or higher. Testing parties may request extra film and printing paper at their leisure. SCP-978 is not to be used for blackmail, entertainment, or personal reasons. This means you. Signed 05. Redacted. All photographs produced by SCP-978 are to be catalogued with full testing descriptions. Requests to destroy the photography may be processed by Level 4 security clearance or higher personnel at the discretion of the testing party. What about getting the Black Compass to... No, Brain Shatter. I once offered a means by which people could hand over the entire SRS to Arcturus. People got sick of that pretty quick. Mind you, I did build them a special intro-outro. But, strictly speaking, just, not really that popular, and I'm okay with that, really. If you want Arcturus, you know where to go to get him. He's not allowed here. Greetings, Officer Gex. It's been a while, hasn't it? Glad to see you about. Thank you for dropping by. I had something I was going to say and I've completely lost the thread. Oh, right. Packages sent. 3 of them. If that's you, it'll be a while to get my hands on them. And if you're listening, whoever you are, thank you in advance. I have no idea. So, how have you all been? I'm buying time. Oh, right. That's what I was going to ask. I'm tinkering with my audio solutions here. How is my voice sounding to you today? Better, worse, same? Just, let me know in chat when you have a good idea. It should sound quite a bit different from last week. Probably on par with the video. Probably not that great even then. Just let me know how that is. Greetings in chat. Next Hunter. Crystal clear. Promising. Promising. Maybe I've done a smart thing. Maybe. Oh, let's see. I believe Scrobbles and Bink. Well, this one I'm sure is Scrobbles. This one here, Bink or Tump? Probably Bink. Tump sounds a bit more of a black name. For rat, that is. Oh, let's see. What color is their skin? I presume it's pink, but who really knows? It's like I'm going to shave them. In any case, moving on. Description. SCP-978 appears to be a standard red and black Polaroid Super Color 645 CL instant camera with no distinctive identifying marks or damage. SCP-978 operates the same as a standard camera and shows no anomalous behavior beyond the photographs it produces. When a subject is pictured with SCP-978, the photograph that develops shows not what the subject was doing at the time of the photo, but rather what the subject wanted to be doing. The effect appears to be for the most part random, sometimes showing drastic changes and deeply suppressed desires, or simply changes and alterations to the subject or their surroundings. SCP-978 appears to be capable of expressing desires of both human and other creatures, see testing log, and appears to convey the simplest desires the easiest. Should 2 subjects with contrasting desires both be photographed together, the subject's desires appear to mix, see testing log for additional information. Fun fact, we're probably pretty close to faking this with Stable Diffusion. Just noting. If you just, got into Stable Diffusion and told it to program certain depicted desires into a camera, took pictures of it, it'd probably be pretty easy to have a diffusion have that person doing that thing. Could be a fun project for someone one day. Not that I'm recommending it, and definitely it should not be used for blackmail. But we'll continue in just a moment. Thank you for the likes. We're up to 10 likes already. If we succeed, it will. Yeah, it's already an SCP, Nerdy Rodent. We've gone over how the factory porn is basically Stable Diffusion. That exists right now. Or rather, Proletariat AI, the Prolbot, the robot made by Are We Cool Yet that creates any art someone happens to think up, often with negative anomalous side effects. But we've already got that in Stable Diffusion. We have Stable Diffusion, which is more impressive than both of those and far less likely to make you a murderer or get you killed by popcorn or something that Are We Cool Yet thought was really, really profound. Greetings, Assassin the Grey. Thank you much for your promotion. I'm terrible at it. I appreciate the support wherever I can get it. And it seems like we might actually hit the goal of 13 likes. I really appreciate it. I'm trying to upgrade and advance things here, and I know I need all the help I can get and afford, which is none. I can afford no help on this point. Really limited operating budget. I couldn't even clear that asshole out for the video today. In any case, moving on. Addendum. Subjects are allowed to request photographs of themselves. Remember, people, just because some of the photos show distasteful things doesn't mean that you're going to do them. Signed, Dr. Mills. In any case, log format, subject photographed activity, photo result. Testing 05 redacted. Simple study of basic research team. Subject research assistant James. Photographed activity, smiling at the camera, neutral pose. Photo result. Subject is shown looking much more tired and a professional drinking from a flask. Which, I feel that. I'm pretty sure, actually, if someone had this SCP on hand right now, if you had SCP-978, you would get pretty much the same results as with Research Assistant James. Subject, Research Assistant, double redacted, photograph activity, smiling for the camera, neutral pose, photo result, subject is shown in casual clothes as if heading out for the night, subject admits that she wishes to go home. But I am home. There is no escaping home. But in any case, moving on. Yeah, really, we have SCPs that are absolutely, well, in reality, but better. I wonder if the Foundation would crack down on stable diffusion if we had one in all reality. Not that I'm saying there is such an all reality. Clearly there isn't. Right. Subject Research Assistant also redacted. Photograph activity, smiling for the camera, neutral posed, photo result. Data expunged. Research Assistant redacted is placed on temporary psychiatric leave. What do you think the odds are that Research Assistant double redacted was hanging from a noose? I'm thinking that's probably why they were suspended. Subject. Doctor redacted. Photographed activity, smiling for the camera, neutral pose, photo result. Subject is shown wearing a different tie. That doctor must be just bitterly boring. Bitterly boring. But easy to please. Think how easy it would be to get on their good side by just presenting them that tie. Subject. Dr. Phillips. Photo activity, smiling for the camera, neutral pose. Photo result, data expunged. Dr. Phillips expresses extreme embarrassment and apologies for this. Quote, unquote, well, the first round of our tests wasn't so bad except for those two. Let's try this thing on some Class D and other personnel. See if we can't get more unusual results. Signed, Dr. Boring Tie Man. I'm sorry, what? So Goosebumps books aren't entirely... You know, Officer Gex, I would be very hesitant to say there's no such thing as a man-eating sponge in the reality we know. I mean, have you ever considered how much of the ocean is unexplored? And where else are you going to find a man-eating sponge? I can tell you right now, there are types of fungus that will absolutely eat your brain. That's quite bad enough, isn't it? Amoebas in particular. Really nasty stuff. In any case, all that's not going to be contained by the Foundation because it is entirely explainable and natural. Disturbingly. Test log 05 redacted. Testing to see effects on why are you constantly trying to fit yourself into the headset? It's like he thinks there's some sort of hidden dimension through the band, like a pocket world. I guess he likes resting his head on it. Weird. Moving on. Testing to see effects of SCP-978 on non-humans. Subject, several standard white mice. Photograph activity, all mice are in plain glass tank for photographing. Photo result, all mice pictured as eating, mating, or... Why? Why must you do this? Where were we? If any of you are controlling my rat's minds with your psychic powers, knock it off, please. It's very distracting. Where was I? Mice are pictured as eating, mating, or both. Yes, I expect that in mice. Mice are dumb. Mice are really dumb. I'm not a fan of mice. Maybe he does, but as he can't read, he'll just have to get over it. Stop upstaging me. Starting to regret taking you out of her tower. I suppose as long as they don't piss down my back, all is well. Moving on. Subject. Single zebra finch, standard lab animal, photograph duty, sitting in a cage observing photographer. Photo result, an open cage with a zebra finch flying off the edge of the photo. Only wing and part of the tail visible. Subject. Standard white lab rabbit. Photograph activity, sitting in plain glass tank photographing. Photo result, subject is pictured mating with another rabbit. Simple creatures, simple desires. Of course it would have been you. I was going to blame Kefki, but in hindsight, it's obvious. Well, that's alright. I know how to counter this. Scritches. Actually, that's probably what he's lobbying for in the first place, now I think about it. Subject, kitten. Stray lab animal. Photograph activity. Being held for the picture by Dr. Redacted. Photo result, data expunged. Quote unquote, I would never do that to a kitten. Signed, Dr. Redacted. I'm pretty sure Dr. Redacted absolutely would snap a kitten's neck. Not that I know that's what was there. It's really easy to picture. Really easy to picture. Well, now I'm hungry too. This is unfair. I can handle this after the show. It's fine. I can tough it out for another 45 minutes. And then I'll make a barely baked steak. Which is basically mincemeat, pan, Greek seasoning, some red wine, 15 to 18 minutes max. Subject. Guard dog, government mix, and handler. Photograph activity. Guard dog and handler both posing strictly for photograph. Photo result. Subject are pictured as playing a game of fetch. Subject. Multiple testing cockroaches. Photograph activity. Cockroaches placed in glass tank for photograph. Photo result. No change. Which means they weren't looking close enough. It'd probably be the same result as with the mice. Just with roaches. And I don't blame them for not being able to notice that the roaches were clearly eating, or however roaches mate. I don't know. And I'm choosing to treasure my ignorance on the topic. Subject, small spider. Photograph activity. Cleaned the ceiling. Dr. Redacted admits that the picture was taken as a last-minute thought when she walked past the spider on her way to SB-978's containment locker. Photo result, a massive, hallways-encompassing web with a small spider on it. Well, at least we know it works on animals, signed Dr. Kitten Neck Snapper. We could go on to the extended test logs, or, if one of you has a request you're eager to get to, I could throw that open. Why don't you decide? I do try to be interactive, you know. Oh, meanwhile, where's it? Where is it? Oh, come on, I know I put the confetti in here. Okay, I did not put the confetti on, even though I meant to do so last week. So you'll have to make do with this. This stream has been a success, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. I needed a win, and this will have to be it. As I understand, they procreate much in the same way as pretend aristocracy of subject. For all I know, you're right, Carlos Fish. For all I know, you're right. Should we go to extended test logs, or did someone have a request? And if no one has a request, we'll go to the extended test logs, and then I do have a second backup SP lined up, but requests are now open, and it's first come, first serve. Unless, of course, someone pays me, in which case I drop everything and immediately get mercenary, following the Streamlabs request for, whatever, really. I never claim not to be mercenary. I just have limits to the mercenary. I mean, I'm not a gigolo, I can't be bribed to do all sorts of lewd things, and I absolutely don't have any intention of getting into contract killing. It's just not sane. I can't be paid enough to do a lot of things, but I can be paid enough to do a wide range of things. Reasonable things. Like karaoke. Oh! Well, Officer Gex has just thrown 15 bucks to support my efforts here with the following message. You needed a win, eh? That's... yes. Well, I don't... but wow, that really makes this one a success by a lot of metrics. Thank you very kindly for your generosity, Officer Gex. I really appreciate it. Look, this means, by the way, Officer Gex, that you basically have the authority to demand any SP you want at any time, and we can override everyone to get your SP in there. You know, the credit stands. Or alternatively, to offer something back to you in return for this, tomorrow's SRS, which is hosted on Rumble, you can also... You could buy songs for me to play there. I assume you have access to the Arklab's Volunteer Reserve Discord server. If you do, you can't miss it. I will promote it there, and on Twitter, and all promotion channels I have access to. Thank you very much. Okay, moving on to the SCP-978 extended test logs. And remember, at any point, Officer Guest can absolutely command, well, not command. Command's not the right word. Request any other SCP, and I'll just immediately go to that. Which is a bit reckless to keep insisting on offering, and that can backfire terribly. In any case, testing log, subject, photographic activity, photo result, testing without SCPs, SP001EX, photographic activity, operating normally, photo result, no change. Subject, SCP-001, photographed activity, result, and photo, all expunged and or destroyed. Will, Fiiine having 05 controls. Testing with SP-001 entries. Notice testing SP-978 and 001 entries is permitted only with approval from 2/3 of the 05 Council higher. Produced photographs are to be either destroyed or indefinitely stored in Site-01's archival storage area. Now to be no exception to this rule. SP-001 clef taken SP-001's inactive state. Bowing before redacted in a solid weight landscape, which seemingly extends infinitely. Subject SP-001 TG Actus. Occupying a large portion of a photograph in the process of consuming a large skyscraper. Photo result, photo depicted multiple robotic humanoids who closely resembled individuals killed by SP-217, staring at the camera in an unlit room. The photograph was contaminated by SP-217 and was immediately incinerated. Subject SP-001 Actus 2. Photograph activity, all 9 items are sitting inactive in containment. But a result, anomalous modifications applied to the items have disappeared. The photo displays 9 human children who lack facial features, standing erect, I wish they hadn't phrased it that way, and facing the camera. Subject SCP-001 Actus 2. Photograph activity suspended mid-air in containment. But a result, photo depicts Dr. Calvin Desmet embracing his daughter. SCP-001 Lock Omega. So, photograph activity taken by a fully covered member in Class 2 personnel. But a result, the photo emitted color and brightness equal to that of SP-001 Lock Omega. All creatures exposed to the photograph became instances of SP-001A. I don't know enough SCPs to request. I will refer you back. Okay, then. That backlog has grown so large, in fact, I will have you know, Officer Gex, it's been basically thrown out in favor of who just requests what. But, you know, I can put out things. I can choose on my own. I'm an adult. We're up to 14 likes now. Thank you very much. Moving on. SCP-001 Lock A. Photograph activity, wandering aimlessly. Photo result, photo unchanged with the exception of pictured SCP-001 Lock A instance being a non-anomalous human being. In the photograph, SP-001 Lock A in the form of an amorphous mass of flesh. Photograph activity approaching the photographer. Photo result, the mass is larger. Taking the majority of the photograph, all discernible faces are smiling. They do love their SCP-001s, don't they? SCP-001 QNTM, photograph activity, sitting in the primary archival vault. Photo result not applicable. Note, SCP-001 spontaneously emitted a ray of intense gamma radiation upon being photographed, creating a major health risk for nearby personnel and minor damage to SCP-978. As a result, the produced photograph was overexposed due to radiation and no details are visible. Subject SCP-001, York Dematics 5. Photograph activity, sleeping in his living chamber. SCP-0015 displayed as a younger version of himself, sitting in the shadow of what appears to be a large apple tree. A sword-like object which emits a bright yellow light sits beside him. Subject SCP-001 IHP Lock 1. Photograph activity, entire site photographed. For a result, the site is partially buried in sand. Everything outside of the site of the photograph is in ruins, although the site itself is perfectly intact. A colossal humanoid, presumably deceased, is taking up the majority of the sky behind the site. This humanoid is dark red in color. Subject SCP-001 IHP Lock 2. Photographed activity, entire site photographed. For a result, the sun in the photograph has a pale reddish hue, decayed flowers are covering most of the grass, the site is intact, and a single broadcasting tower can be seen in the background of the photograph. The broadcasting tower is in ruins. Observer of the photograph universally claim that the tower has been reclaimed, although they are unable to clarify what this means. Subject SCP-001 Kirby. Photograph activity, revising a veto decision of the Ethics Committee, with the liaison of the committee unaware it is being photographed. For a result, interacting with its grandson, gently stroking him on the head, both the child and SCP-001 are smiling. Note, photograph was handed over to the possession of SCP-057 for study. Subject, SCP-001 Gears. Photograph activity, sitting at the southeastern corner of containment, but a result, resting on its back, inspecting a human corpse with its legs. SCP-001 Tan Honey. Photograph activity, studying containment, unit, inert, but a result, no change. And now we get to some other SCPs. And it dawns on me that I've made a terrible mistake because these tests go on forever and a day. Quite possibly the remainder of time. Still having fun over there, everyone. We're up to 16 likes. I assume someone's at least pleased with what I'm doing. I certainly appreciate it. Not in the realm of Voth, yet he always takes... Say, Assassin the Grey, if he commissions you to do the kill, isn't that kind of, his commissioning and therefore partially to his credit as well? I assume, strictly speaking, while you might not get the fame, you would still be getting the additional work. Look, I am not going to argue or defend Arketer's Asarthos. I refuse. It's crossing the streams, and it ends now. Greetings in chat. Tematic. Moving on. SCP-002. Photograph activity at rest in the containment chamber. For the result, a well-finished foyer in the cell of SCP-002. An unlit hallway extends in the opposite direction. Subject, SCP-0031. Photographed activity, encased by SCP-0032 in its dormant state. For a result, a human female with her back turned to the camera and mostly obscured by trees, walking in a forested area populated with trees that resemble SCP-0031 in biological composition. Every other plant life in the forest also appears to have been constructed of SCP-0031. It dawns on me that a lot of these descriptions would probably be pretty fun to feed into a Stable Diffusion prompt. But I didn't prepare for that, so I'm not going to do that. I could have, and I might later. SCP-005. Photograph activity, sitting in its containment area, but a result, no change. SCP-007. Subject is playing chess with Dr. Kondraki. SCP-005 has been removed from subject's cavity, and he is now inspecting it in his hands. Subject does not show signs of being affected by touching SCP-005's atmosphere with their hands. SCP-011. Photograph activity, facing towards the camera with its musket to its side. A photo result, redacted, is standing next to SCP-001 while leaning her head on his shoulder. SCP-011's arms are around her back, and its head is leaning on hers. SCP-11's musket is not visible. I'm thinking we might skip ahead to some SCPs we more clearly recognize. But which one? Any requests? I have a feeling they might have gone through damn near every single one of these. Which I actually approve of. I would prefer if there was more cross-SCP testing. SB6869. The regularly requested SB069. This is a good one to read out, I think, because it's been requested a few times now, most by people who have no idea what SB069 is, and just really hope it's a lot more spicy than it is. SB069 photograph activity mimicking the appearance of Agent Reynolds Maxey. But the results, no change. Note, the results of this test ought to be a reminder to all personnel that although SB069 can imitate human life to perfection, it cannot be considered an actual living being with human desires. 17 likes and greetings, Snoopy SN100. You know, it does remember that at the moment we have a lot more viewers, so I'd like to remind everyone, if you happen to be the person who sent 3 packages my way, they're still on their way, they're accounted for, they're not lost. I don't have my hands on them yet, and they will be opened as soon as possible on SideQuest. Presumably, that's that jerk's domain, unless otherwise informed. Any case. 079. SB0762, Lion Sarcophagus and SB761. The result, tending to a herd of pigs in pastoral landscape while a large city is consumed by flames. In the background, closer inspection revealed the pigs were consuming the remains of SCP-073. SCP-073, photograph activity, eating in Site-17 cafeteria. Photo result, tending to an assorted range of plants on a small farm. In the background, various domesticated animals are wandering around. If I'm not mistaken, that's Cain and Abel. Still perky, no sagging. Wait, what? I'm sure that's true, that SCP-79 holds nothing against SCP-58008, mostly because 58008 is a novel way of slipping boobs in through numbers and not an SCP. Although, there probably will be one day. There are thousands upon thousands of SCPs at this point, so many that there's really no chance of reading through them all before, I suppose, the collapse of society. Moving on, SCP-079, photograph activity displaying an ASCII picture of capitalized X while resting in its holding area. Photo result, components of a massive computing device which resembles an IBM brand supercomputer occupy SCP-079's holding area. Humanoid entities who bear physical likeness to living Foundation personnel lie immobile on the ground, cables protruding from their craniums and connecting the machine. Robotic modifications have been made to the personnel's limbs and face, which make visual identification difficult. SCP-082. Photographed activity, sharing a meal with SCP-4820. Photo result, performing at the Paris Opera House as it appears in the 1986 musical The Phantom of the Opera. Based on the costumes and sets visible in the photograph, SCP-082 appears to be portraying Mephistopheles in Charles Gounod's opera adaptation of Faust, while SCP-4820 portrays the title character. Several audience members are visible. Identified individuals include Peter Dinklage, Batman, as depicted in early issues of Detective Comics, SCP-507, Lon Chaney Jr. as Wolfman, and Maximilian Robespierre. All visible audience members have been moved to tears by SCP-82's performance. Let's look for some more recognizable numbers. Any requests there? No? SB-168, photographic activity, sitting on its table. Photo result, an identified male teenager is using SB-178 to solve several pages of mathematical equations. Several textbooks with titles such as Complicated Math, Difficult Math, and Math Unity Calculator, therefore, are visible. Which one was 168? Oh, we haven't read this one yet. Well, never mind. It was not what I thought it was. I was wrong. You know, it dawns me, we can't possibly get through these reasonably. But as the next SCP is on this list, let's take a look. SCP-169. 168, we'll be moving on to next. I did unmute that, right? Do I have a favorite SCP Alpha X? Why, yes. Yes, I do. Where is it? Now, a hero is born. Oh, where have I put it? I have a replica. It's a rather treasured relic of mine. I could have sworn it was handier. Oh, here we go. A hero is born. With a note. Ah, yes. From one of its handlers, which will probably help me remember what it was called. I have a bit of a problem, in namely that I'm really bad with numbers. And I clearly did not succeed in properly muting that sneeze. Apologies. What is it? The book. A hero is born. $12.30. I knew it. 12:30. Correct, Casual. Casual was quicker to the punch than I. SCP-1230 is absolutely one of my favorite SCPs. Quite frankly, I'm sure it would make getting proper rest that much easier. Also, the bookkeeper just seems like a really nice guy. A really nice guy. It's not his fault that one of the Foundation researchers was a selfish dipshit who couldn't face reality. But yes, there we go. One of my favorites right there. And books that you can talk to that can write the story for you as you go also is something we're probably not too far from seeing in reality. Consider, if you will, large language models. They can write a story on the fly. In fact, there's a game you can get right now on Steam or via the web called AI Dungeon that will basically write a dungeon delving adventure for you as you interact with it. It was founded by some Mormons, and as such, I believe they constantly struggle with trying to censor it properly. But if you play your cards right, last I checked, it was still possible to raid a dungeon for the lost book of the Little Blue Pill. I don't think I'm allowed to play it anymore. But it was really funny. The Blue Magic Spellbook. Which no one really remembers either. Yes. SCP-168, activity sitting on its table. Photo result, an identified male teenager is using SCP-168 self... No? 169. SCP-169, photographed activity, testing denied under order of O5 redacted. Photo result, testing denied. That is a completely pointless entry. Moving on to SCP-168. Bad with numbers, no problem. Yeah, that's true, Super 100. See, I think the problem in my case is that even though I'm not really white, I am at best a shade of grey, still not quite edgy enough. I'm also not bald, don't wear dresses, and have no history of boosting luggage from an airport. Which I think means that I'm considered insufficient for most Biden administration positions. I mean, I could have been an excellent energy chief. The things I could have done. I'm pretty sure it would have been really easy to one-up Mr. What was his? It's Sam Brink, the looter guy, stole luggage, really squandered a chance at being, well, respectable in the slightest, really. As a former English teacher and a writer, 1230 sounds awesome. Yes! It is! And I feel very bad for that particular SCP. You just wanted to, help people have really nice adventure dreams. In any case, item SCP-168. object class safe. This is not the one I was going for, was it? Well, in any case, we're committed now. I started reading it. We move on. Monkeypox mat. Yes! I think I know what you're talking about now. But I'm not going to dig in it. I probably put myself in a bit of a hole as it is. Item! Not as much as they did, though. Item SCP-168, object class safe, spectrum procedures. SCP-168 is to remain in observation 22D of Sector 28 should be propped up at the full angle that its casing allows, facing the unshuttered window provided. The entrance is to remain locked, with entrance available by request. Based on prior research, it is not to be used as a normal calculator would. A discussion with SCP-168 is encouraged, but is to be limited to a maximum of 1 hour per day, no exceptions. Found resting on a desk during clearance of the condemned Binary Elementary School building in 1996. SCP-168 is a Hewlett-Packard brand graphing calculator, model HP28C. Upon initial inspection, it was discovered that the name Eric was carved into the inside of the removable casing. However, upon inputting a simple equation, 6 divided by 3, and pressing the equal button, the screen of the device went blank for 3 minutes and 34 seconds, after which the alternate key function engaged, displaying the message, "What time is it?" For a log of the conversation, those level 2 security clearance should see Addendum Report E12. Though not altogether mobile, SCP-168 has displayed signs of action when personnel are not present. It also possesses both vision and hearing, though how these processes work is currently unknown. For more information, refer to Addendum Report E18. The evidence has led to petitioning to the upgrade of the object to Euclid class, justifying more secure arrangements for containment. Notably, they're absolutely right. It should absolutely be Euclid if it can move on its own. If it has a will, if it does anything, especially if no one is touching it, that's Euclid, minimum. Ark's four-legged friends look like they were reading SP. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they like to pretend. They're clever. They are. Much cleverer than one might expect a rodent pet to be, because one might be comparing them to hamsters or mice. Hamsters and mice are dumb. Gerbils, dumber. Not these lads. Dramatically smarter. And more intelligent and fun and charismatic and packed with personality and really just sweethearts all around. I would absolutely eat a hamster, mouse, or gerbil into a blender if it was necessary. And I suppose in a star-based situation, I would probably be practical even regarding rats. But I'd feel really, really bad about it. Whereas with hamsters and gerbils and mice, yeah, screw those things. Just mouths with legs, nothing else going for them. These guys love their food too, but they actually have a life beyond that. Sorry, Kefki, I know you like all things furry. So, just, I don't begrudge anyone who likes their hamsters and mice pets, or Roborovsky hamsters, which are basically mouths with legs and seemingly nothing else. And I know a lot of people like their little hamster videos on YouTube. I don't. I avoid them. But I don't begrudge people what they enjoy. So, you could take that with a grain of salt. I just know superior in every way. Superior in every way. Higher on the hierarchy. Not really deserving to be put in the same class, really. But I digress. Document 1681, Interview E12. Record log of dialogue between SCP-168 and Dr. Howard, dated January 14, 2008. Replies from SCP-168 are to remain capitalized to indicate non-vocal communication and preserve authenticity. SCP-168 is also incapable of forming punctuation marks, save for period, comma, and question mark. Begin log, Dr. Howard. We have no one available to read the lines, although I am in the Arkelab's Volunteer Reserve Discord server green room, which anyone technically could join. Yeah, gerbils are some of the worst. They stress me. Some of you might like gerbils. Maybe I'm bizarre, but I like mammals as much as the nectar and can acknowledge when they are delicious. Yes, well, I concur. I'm a big fan of a lot of delicious animals. I mean, cows can be absolutely adorable too. But I will not have the slightest hesitation in enjoying my beef. Barely baked steak. Ye cards, I'm hungry. Moving on. Begin log. Dr. Howard, can you hear me? Yes. Do you have a name? Calculator? May I call you 168? I don't see why not. Good. How long have you been alive, 168? What is alive? Being able to think. Oh. SCP-168 pauses for approximately 2 minutes. 12 years, 3 months, 12 days, 8 minutes, 32 seconds. Why did that take so long? No one's ever asked. Moving on. There's a name carved into your casing. Who is Eric? Eric was nice. I liked Eric. Where has he gone? Dr. Howard, I don't know where he has gone, 168. What a forgetful boy. I hope he remembers to come back for me again. Was Eric your owner? Eric was nice. All right. Do you function as a calculator should, 168? I should hope so. May I try using you to calculate an equation, something like 2 plus 2? Yes. Dr. Howard enters 2 plus 2 and hits the equal key. The answer 4 appears on SCP-168's screen spontaneously. May I try another one without telling you what it is first? Yes. Dr. Howard enters 264 divided by 8 and hits the equal key. The answer 33 appears on SCP-168's screen after 12 seconds. Why did that take so long, 168? Long division is hard. Dr. Howard, I think that's enough for today. I'll talk to you again tomorrow, 168. Wait, it's dark in here. Can you open the window? There is no window in this room, 168. Can I have another room with a window in it? I'm afraid not. No fair. In log. Document 1682, report E18 upon entering storage room 185D to continue testing the SCP-168 on the morning of January 15, 2008. I discovered the only table in the room upended, with SCP-168 resting next to it, in an upright position. Its screen reads, How do you like that? Teach you to leave me in the dark all day, jerk! Attempts to communicate with SCP-168 after that point were ignored. I suggest we move to the room 22 on 221D if we want to get anything actually useful out of it. Signed, Dr. Howard. And yes, that makes it Euclid, not safe. They can flip a table. It's Euclid. Also, how did a calculator flip a table? I really haven't thought that one. Okay, so, before we choose another SCP, there is 12 minutes left. Strictly speaking, requests could still come through. Where did the Three Stooges come into this? The Two Stooges. Ah, right. Well, I should remind you, Stupid 100, there are actually 3. And they are not named Larry, Moe, and Curly, but I probably should have. Some things to know about rats. Arbitrary rat chat. Male rats are known for a few things. 1 is being stinkier than the female counterparts. 2, they fight regularly. Not vicious fighting, they don't do any harm. Lots of wrestling though, because they keep redefining their hierarchy amongst each other. So strictly speaking, naming 3 brothers, Larry, Moe, and Curly, would be pretty apt, because they behave like it sometimes. Note, just something they feel compelled to do. They're silly like that. They get over it quickly. They're very quick to forgive. Oh yes, and one more thing. They're lazy. They are otherwise incredibly lazy, prone to dozing for long spans of time. And left to their own devices, prefer to typically be epaulets, especially this one here. Lazy. Lazy. Right, is there a cow SCP? There are a few cow SCPs. There's an immortal cow SCP that can be cut meat-free of it regularly, and it just grows back. It's basically an Elysium cow. except for the fact that if it's not regularly trimmed, it just gets more and more disgusting and bulgy and meaty. And quite frankly, even though they said that there's no harm from eating meat of that cow, I wouldn't recommend it. There are also various cow-related SCPs, Officer Gex. You might recall my incredible aversion to reading anything involving cow milk, lactomancy, and of course, the galactic space cow. It's been nearly 5 years since we read that one, and it still hurts to recall. But perhaps you recall. Shemp was an underrated stooge, not to mention it. Well, we've gotten really off topic. So in any case, I really hate gerbils. They are the worst, in my opinion. Just watching one jump endlessly in a corner over and over again. Look, if I thought it could think, I might respect its determination. But it's basically a cockroach with fur. It's not thinking. And the stress of it just radiates stress. Hop, 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 hop. Also, if it just gets out and immediately stuffs it in the back of an oven. And oh yes, they are not gentle creatures. They will bite the shit out of you. These lads? Look, wild rats might be something else entirely. But these guys do not bite. You'd have to basically go out of your way to force them to bite. They are just too sweet. And their brother, not pictured here, Tom, not appearing on this particular stream, is even gentler than these two, because these two jackasses have no regard for how deep they put their claws into things. Their brother, on the other hand, that sweetheart does his best not to claw you. He has the same claws as the rest of them, but he will pointedly avoid clawing. So that's enough. Right, chat. And, Assassin the Grey, there is no SCP for me, because I am not contained by the Foundation, nor am I anomalous. Everything about me is explained. Super science. It's not really asshole wizard magic. Yes. Gerbils are basically the furry equivalent of, well, rat snakes. I don't know if you're familiar with snakes, but I spent some time with the Herpetological Society in my youth and had a grudging tolerance of them. I like rat snakes. I would never have one again because I'm not about to feed them a rat. Quite frankly, I'd rather feed a rat snake to a rat than a rat to a rat snake. That said, they're fun creatures because rat snakes are incredibly ill-tempered, but they typically don't have the means to hurt you, especially when they're hatchlings. So when I found a hatchling on the university campus at the time, I immediately picked it up, and it spent the next 3 weeks doing its best to murder me. But it didn't have any meaningful teeth, so it would just bite my finger again and again and again and again. And in hindsight, that was very gerbilish behavior. But I still cared for it until summer came and I released it in the park, where I hope it's gone on to eat lots and lots of mice and no rats whatsoever. Because rats are much better than mice. Mice can go screw off and die. In any case, we are down to 6 concurrent viewers. We have 18 likes. Thank you very much. Yes, you remember correctly, Officer Gex, and that is why. Well, we have 6 minutes remaining, so I'm just going to revisit the SCPs here. I do have a habit, I've noticed, of rushing through SCPs and then forgetting to discuss them, either with guests or with you in general. We have gone through SCP-978, the Desire Camera. I don't know how you all feel about it. I think it's a rather fun SCP. Certainly someone enjoyed it immensely because they made about 300,000 extended test logs, although most of them are just redacted Anyone you take a photo of with the Desire camera? I can't say I'm afraid of it, but certainly it's rather a bit invasive privacy-wise. I'm glad it doesn't actually exist or is thoroughly contained, because if it existed and our government had control over it, they would probably use it to determine who to put in office. Note, not to screen who shouldn't be in office. I think they would use it to better determine who to put into office, once they secured the right blackmail material. But that's just because I kind of suspect they're doing that already. Which is, of course, a weird thing to say if you haven't been paying attention to, I don't know, everything regarding to the man who clearly didn't kill himself. By the way, I can tell you, as the objective authority, yeah, SCP-100, I'm pretty sure they didn't need 978 to pull that off. If you were to take a picture of Arcturus Sarthos with this camera, you'd basically just have a picture of him reigning as some sort of asshole mad god of Voth. Easily done. Wait, which one? Oh, right. The one that clearly didn't kill himself. And that we can't be sure of otherwise. I mean, again, when it comes to Epstein, all I'm willing to put money on is that he didn't kill himself. I'm not even prepared to place any bets that he's properly dead. But that he didn't kill himself? Oh boy, that's an easy one. And every last dipstick on the planet tipped their hand, dropped their masks when they said with a straight face, "It was a suicide, case closed." Yeah. That's just insulting. Really, really insulting. Bitterly insulting. And I continue to chafe that while I was compelled to spin tassels on 2 occasions, the second occasion I did my best to do so with a superimposed Epstein kill himself over it. Unfortunately, the record has it being too blurry to really be useful, and most people tend to prefer the other incident. How many people do you know who have 50-plus odd friends tragically commit suicide? None. I personally know no people who have had 50-plus friends tragically commit suicide, and, well, actually, I don't think I know anyone personally who has committed suicide at all. I hope that should remain true, because I don't want anyone I know, or even have known, to commit suicide. It's just a terrible waste. We're all going to die anyway. Don't rush that shit. The way I see it, if you're absolutely determined to bite a bullet, you should pick a good fight and fight without fear of death. That would be the better. What I really can't buy is that anyone has taken themselves off the planet by, I don't know, hanging themselves with an extension cord while having shot themselves in the back of the head with a shotgun, or any variation thereof. That, to be told that that is a suicide, is really offensive. Just kinda pisses me off every time I'm presented with something like that, and told that ostensible experts and professionals, real people in power, totally believe that too. Yeah, I don't even believe Eric Swallowswell buys that. And yeah. That's too much. We should stop there. Some people would say this is political, and they don't like political, and they don't want to get in political, and they don't want me being political. But this sort of stuff goes beyond political. When someone tells you, when someone pisses on your head and tells you that it's raining, that's not political. That's a straight up insult to you personally. And they expect you to buy that, which should make you much angrier. I don't appreciate it, and they've burnt a lot of credibility and goodwill with me. But that's part of my video, which is on Rumble. If you're wanting to see it, it is logged on the Ark Labs Volunteer Reserve Discord server. But you know what? I'm thinking I'll just give you a link to it now. It will also be released here on YouTube when I'm done here, which is in about a minute. So, you know, if you don't want to use Rumble for whatever reason, it's coming here too. I just felt compelled to load it on Rumble first. Plus, I could load it to Rumble while setting it for this one. I pulled it off. I feel proud of myself. Even though I do have some misgivings about the quality. And why did that asshole have to do that right then? Why then? There's surely no status... I digress. We are done here. Thank you very much, Officer Gex, for your generous support. Deeply appreciated. Streamlabs is my only monetary support, save for what share I get from my complicity in side quest. Tomorrow is the next SRS on the same platform as the link I just posted in chat. If you would like to see me rocking out to absurd music, or rocking out absurdly to perfectly reasonable music, or if you want to just arbitrarily dictate what I'm rocking out to at all, also Gex, this particularly applies to you, you might want to tune in. Otherwise, I suppose I'll see you next time. Until then, so long as progress continues, success is inevitable. Ostensibly. On behalf of myself, Arketer Labs, Scrobble, Bink, and Tump, cheers, I guess.